We are put in a position by a bigger master to be taught not to fuck with each other. So you as the model minority always see us as beneath you.
Median household income today, Asian, 123,000. Black, 47,000. Hey, fatherless rate, Asian, only 16%. Black, 63%. Whew. Let's look at homework per week. Asian, no surprise here, they do 134 minutes on average. Black, 36. I don't hear them saying they're better than you and you're beneath them. I hear maybe you feeling that way. You guys know Killer Mike? Probably not. He's a hip-hop artist, done some good stuff, and he's been dining out on that for a very long time. He's largely an activist. And sometimes people give him a pass because he'll say the right thing, and like he's a Second Amendment advocate. But then when you understand that it's very often only because he thinks the Second Amendment needs to be used for black people to protect against white people, you realize he doesn't have the ability to read crime statistics. And then the more you listen to him, you realize that he is intensely racist and effectively wrong about everything. His latest tirade is about Asians and how blacks and Asians can't get along, but it's the fault.
This is one thing that gets swept under the rug, and nobody wants to admit this, right? And I think I said this in one of my previous videos, that because I am an outsider looking in, which means that I'm not born in the United States, I migrated here from Africa to the US. And I've come into contact with all the various groups in the United States of America. So people like me, we're in a good neutral position to understand how different groups of Americans treat people, themselves, other communities, and then, to the larger extent, foreigners.
Of the Asians, at a certain point, maybe Killer Mike can ask, is it me? Time for Claim Truth.
The answer is yes, it is.
Yeah, the first claim, and this we showed you this clip not that long ago, the Asian shopkeeper, Rick Chow.
Which, by the way, great name for a wrestler.
It really is, yeah, Rick Chow. That's perfect. Rick, it's time to chow!
It's chow time!
It's chow time!
Dun, 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 dun.
His move is like the chop suey or something.
Yeah.
Takes two sticks. And
his secret weapon is, chopsticks.
Yeah, exactly
hey,
right.
beat me to it.
Rick Chow, shopkeeper, he protected himself. He shot a young black man, and he got off because it was self-defense. So this is the jumping off point. Killer Mike, this is showing us a problem with Asians and blacks, and they can just get away with anything.
I saw a black child, South Carolina, walked out of a store.
He had a
when
gun?
confronted, showed I don't have anything.
Didn't do his hands.
Chased out of that store.
No,
and
reach
shot
his hands
back
in his pocket.
and killed. Nothing has changed.
Nothing's changed.
That
Did that child have a gun? See, all the things that the blacks complain about, like the ones that have made national news where people hold up signs and protest, the victims, or quote unquote, the victims, are always not clean. They're always suspect. They always have something. This is why I can't rock with it, okay? If it was some normal dude that was walking around and then he chased him down and shot him, we got a problem. But a kid that went to rob, that has a gun on him, that is running away, come on, man. See, give me candidates or victims that legitimately got racially profiled and had a similar result. And you will find that even white America will support you. You won't even have to protest. You will have a lot of Americans look at this and say, there's a problem here. But don't give me somebody that is on fentanyl, that has brought a fake bill to a gas station. Man, don't give me the ninjas, man. Don't give me those. You're never going to win me over with that level of stupidity. It's not going to work, man.
that man was let off the case.
Here's the truth. A jury found that Chow had defended his son's life. And here's some other details we didn't really get into. They confronted that young black man. They always say boy. The young black man pulled a gun on Chow's son after they chased him. They thought that he had stolen something. By the way, they have been robbed many times at gunpoint at the store, as many shopkeepers, bodega owners are. Chow shot Belton, young black man, in self-defense. Now, here's the other thing that they don't tell you. Chow then rendered aid to Belton while his son called 911. He even kept the young black man's airway clear by sucking the vomit out of his mouth, and then immediately cooperated with authorities. All of this was known by the jury, to be clear. Also, Belton had a gun. So it comes down to his word against his word. He said, she said, black said, Asian said. And you look at one who seemed to do everything he could to try and save the child's life. It's an unfortunate situation. These things happen, especially someone who's been the target of violent assault or the victim of violent assault, as this shopkeeper was. So that's what actually happened, by the way. But he uses this as a jumping off point to make broad generalizations while accusing white people and Asians of being prejudiced. Let's contrast that with Carmelo Anthony. Anthony was somewhere he shouldn't be, was asked to leave, He stabbed someone in the chest when asked to leave. Maybe he was gently pressed on the shoulder after asked 15 times, and then he tried to dish the murder weapon. Not the same thing. Not the same thing at all. This is a jumping off point to go to all the other claims from Killer Mike. So put him in the same category as Bill Maher. Occasionally he might say something that you think has him coming around. He's not. He's not. This guy is obsessed with race.
It's not just him. Majority of Black America is obsessed with race. This is one of the biggest conflict between Black immigrants and Black Americans. We don't see race. We don't go about our lives superly obsessed with people's race. We look at people individually as to who they are, so I can put my life on the line to save my white neighbor, because my white neighbor is somebody that I trust and that trusts me, and we have a bond and our kids play together. And I don't see him any different from another Ghanaian brother. I know that he's going to have my interest when shit hits a fan. And that's how that is my worldview. I'm not forcing you to believe that. That is just my worldview, okay? My community is what I'm around and the people that I live and share spaces with. And for most Black immigrants, race is just not a construct. We don't care, This conversation should be about good versus evil. But for Black folks in America, their obsession with race is just mind-boggling. I'm not here to litigate whether that is a good approach or not. The only times I've had to speak on this and I've had issues with it is that perception that we immigrants have to be quote unquote unquote. This is what I fight strongly against. It's never going to work. We're never going to be on code, okay? So Tariq and them folks, just so you know, we're never going to be on code. It's just not going to happen, bro. There's no way I'm here for opportunity. Then I waste my breath and energy advocating for cases like this where the quote-unquote victims have guns, are stabbing other people's children. Get up.
Watch any of his previous content. A very hateful person. Here's the second claim. Is that Asians always see Black people as beneath them, and that's a problem.
It's not enough to just hate the other person anymore. It's not enough to just hate the Asian store and burn them down and boycott them.
Well, that was never enough.
And I do think all of that.
Yeah, you guys burned down some Asian stores, I think in the 80s and in the 90s. It used to be burning, and then now it's moved to boycott. Like, your approaches to conflict, it's always destruction. This is why I don't rock with that community. I don't believe in conflict resolution that involves bullying, boycotting, and violence. You're just never going to get me. You're never going to get me. And you're never going to get my community to come on board with that bullshit. This is why I call myself the third president, because I am growing in influence for the Black immigrant class in America to watch out for some of the things that I talk about in my videos. This is real life experiences that will guide them to success here in America. If they start believing in this victimhood mentality, they're just never going to succeed. It's for losers, man. This is why the Black folk is at the bottom. Hispanics have surpassed them, not only in population, but in incomes, education, and every metric. All of it. Hispanics have surpassed them. They used to be chilling at the bottom together. Black immigrants and Asians have always surpassed them. And they make excuses like, oh, you guys come over here with money. No, they don't. The Rwandese refugee comes here with $200 in his pocket. They don't get any benefits. They don't get shit. A lot of them leave 10 people in an apartment when they start out. So miss me with that. I know the Black immigrant. I've seen the story of a Black immigrant. I was one of them, but I've seen multiple stories of Black immigrants in my communities, the Zambians, the Ghanaians, the Nigerians. I have friends, man. I know all their stories. And for some of them, it takes them about 2 years to get on the right trajectory to attain their quote-unquote American dream. So this gaslighting that has existed in America to make it feel like, the immigrants got a leg up. No, they don't. They just work harder. They do. For the most part, they have the right information, the right attitude. They are not hateful or prejudiced, and they are willing to listen and learn and push it into work. They know that this is a lifetime opportunity for them to change their lives and the lives of their children. So they don't have time for bullshit. That's the difference.
I'm at a point now
Or
where I'm like,
appropriate.
enough. We can't fuck with y'all. Y'all don't fuck with us. And it's obvious. And we are put in a position by a bigger master to be taught not to fuck with each other. So you as the model minority always see us as beneath you.
Now, by the way, just to be clear, I understand that might be hard to decipher because this is something people do. They try and create new, like, to F with somebody used to be don't F with him. It meant to mess with somebody, to do something undesirable. But now they'll say like, yo, I F with Coca-Cola, meaning I like it. But it also means I don't F with, as in I don't like it. So they just try and create this new vernacular and say that you don't understand. It's a language for themselves. It's stupid. Words have meaning and phrases have meanings, especially when it's already an idiom or colloquialism. So what he really means to say is, I'm done being around Asians. I don't want to spend time with them, and they're probably done with me. Here's the truth. It's a completely subjective and unintelligible statement or premise from him that Asians, I guess, think they're above black people. But let's...
I don't think they think they're above black people. They are above black people in all metrics. And actually, right now, they are above white people in all metrics. And this is earned. I live around them, so I know. This is earned. I see how they take their kids to Kumon. I see the effort that these Indians put in raising their children in a formidable two-parent household. The formula to success in America is there, man. This is the easiest place to come out. Very, very easy. So I think these are black insecurities. But they're, like, I like that I'm able to speak openly about this. Like I said, ever since I've been on YouTube, the only people that have threatened me are black people. Okay? They are even threatened by truth and words. I've never had a white guy come on my YouTube talking about, I know where you live. The only people that have told me that are black people because they don't like the truth. And this is why I believe strongly that they are going to remain at the bottom. And, it's very important that black immigrants disassociate from any attempt to be put into these statistics. That delineation effort from the Tariq group should be seen as a positive measure, because if we can get the US government to collect statistics separately, it'll put us in a different category, and it's not even close. I've watched and I've done videos on the data points between the two groups, the black immigrants and the black Americans. It's not even close. Okay, if we categorically put ourselves into subgroups, black immigrants will be next to Asians and almost at parity with white America in terms of income and educational attainment. That's where it's at right now.
Might feel this way because black Americans and Asian Americans kind of started off at the same spot, pre-civil rights.
Yep.
And Asian Americans, having faced discrimination in a similar timeline, certainly the most comparable here in the United States, have outpaced the growth, progress, and success of black Americans for reasons that I guess your guess is good as mine.
Yep.
Let's look at pre-civil rights earnings. Filipino earnings were about 39% less than whites. I'm using that because if you go to the data, go check the reference. They didn't have like this broad category of Asians for some reason. Filipino was very specific. Black earnings, 43% less than whites. So both right around 40%. That's a rounding error. Now let's look at the earnings data today. Filipino earnings, 14% more than whites. Black Americans, same spot, 39% less than whites.
They have not made any improvements. Look at these numbers. They have not made any, in any category, no improvement whatsoever. Even though a lot of this data has included black immigrants who have really higher incomes for the most part and higher educational attainment. The other side is so much to the bottom that statistically it's not even significant. It's not going to make any difference.
Wow. So you can just say, well, it's because they've been kept up. But they weren't? But this group wasn't? Because here's the thing. You're crapping on the group that found a way out of it.
Surely if it was race related, we would have held back the Spanish Asians.
You would think so.
Yeah.
Median household income today, Asian, $123,000. Black, $47,000.
This is what I've been saying for almost a year now. The Asians have surpassed even white people in median household income. Look at the gap between Asian Americans. This is the top figure, and even white America. There's almost a $30,000 income gap, household income gap between Asian Americans and white Americans. Nobody's holding anybody back in America. If you really work hard, this thing is very possible in America. And I am an example of it. Okay. Like somebody that showed up to graduate school here with $200 in my pocket. And 15 years in, I have more than $1 million in net worth. This is only possible in America. So, but I don't even know who is holding who back. It's not possible, man.
7,000. Hey, fatherless rate, Asian, only 16%. Black, 63%. Whew. Let's look at homework per week. Asian, no surprise here, they do 134 minutes on average. Black, 36.
They were only assigned 90.
Jeez.
Look at the IQ, 115 for Asian. Black, 85. Look at percent of murders that are being committed by Asians in this country, 1%. Black, 44%.
That's crazy. 1% to 44%. And I saw this idiot, this fools, this pro-blacks, Pan-African, I don't even know what ideology they fall in, socialist leaning thinking, distraction, boycott guys that are trying to post Asian crimes or some crimes that may have happened in the Asian community to seek some type of equivalency. I saw him do it to an Afro-Cuban. He looked at an Afro-Cuban, said something he didn't like. Then he goes to take videos of Cuba showing the struggles of Cuba to mean that his home country is so bad that he shouldn't even say anything about what he's talking about in terms of the boycott of the Asian community. These are idiots. I don't even know why I subscribe to shit like that, but these are idiots. And I'm starting to want to push back on his type of content only because he referenced me. I used to want to leave him alone because I was like, this is some useless dude, bro. I used to leave him alone, but I'm like, I may have to start addressing some people that think that they have the passport to speak on Africans because they quote unquote believe they're Pan-Africans, so they can just talk like they're one of us. No, they're not. You're Western Black. Come on, man. That's never going to change. That's who you are. It's in your thinking. It's in your thought process. It's in your videos all the time. Stay on your side. Let's just put it that way. Stay on your side, buddy.
How can you see this across the board? We're the same starting off point. In other words, none of you have a head start. None of you were given a handicap. How do they outperform you in every single metric? I don't hear them saying they're better than you and you're beneath them.
No, you know.
I hear maybe you feeling that way.
You know,
and you know
they're
what?
better.
I probably would too. If I looked at those numbers. Check the references, 11 a.m. Eastern. It's objective.
Yes, if I looked at the data says that. The Asians aren't telling you that. The data is telling you that.
And there is an Asian.
Yes, and even the real estate market tells you that. The real estate data tells you that. In North Texas, right here, everybody that is buying a home is Southeast Asian because they are the only ones that can afford homes, even in an environment where interest rates are so horrible that nobody wants to touch homes. The Asians are still the only people that are buying in North Texas. I mean, this is not even a conversation. These boycotts is just out of resentment and hate. They've done it to us Africans. Last month, they were boycotting African beauty salons. Okay. Now, you don't need boycotting is a collective way of destroying other communities just to get your way. It's a bullying tactic, but these idiots don't even understand the scale of destruction that they are trying to cause other people because they don't have love in their vocabulary. They are not good people. The free market, America, has a way of penalizing bad actors. If you're a business, or if you're an African braiding store, if you're an Asian business, and you treat people badly, you can go online and leave a review, an honest review, and an honest star rating for people to know your experience at that restaurant or at that Asian store. And with time, that'll put pressure on that business owner to adjust to be able to correct those issues, to improve their ratings. Why don't you use those free market principles to resolve these issues for businesses that are underperforming or are providing a bad service? That is an option, but no. You want to destroy them to bring them down to an acceptable level, thinking that if you're able to do that, that you'll be able to regain some power. But it doesn't work that way because you are also a minority group. And Black immigrants, we don't have problems with Asians. My Asian friends, I hope to let you know on behalf of the third class, We have no issues with you. Matter of fact, we love you guys. We love the Chinese in Africa. They've been doing amazing things to us, you know. And like you guys say in Chinese, Fei Chang Hao. Very beautiful. I taught a little bit in China over there, my college summers. I've had a good time for the most part with the Asian community. I live around a bunch of Asians. We Black immigrants, we don't have issues with you. We will patronize your products. Keep doing great. You inspire, I think, most immigrants that it is very possible in America. So keep doing what you're doing, man. This might even be a good thing for you. You won't have these Black folks with bad attitudes coming into your businesses that won't even leave tips with stinky attitudes. Good riddance, if you ask me. Okay, good riddance. Right? You may have suffered a short-term loss, but in the long run, it's good riddance. You're going to have the Black immigrants. You're going to have the other Asian groups. You're going to have white folks and the others. Okay, the only people you're not going to have is some Black Americans. Not all of them, but you're going to have some. You won't have some. Okay, 13% of the population. If you don't have 7% of them, that's fine. Let them grow their hair out, like the other dude said. Let them grow their hair out. Where are they going to go, man? They don't make anything. These people have nothing. For the most part, they have nothing. What do they have? They just dribble basketballs. And I don't know what else they do nowadays, right? They got nothing. So, and with a lot of these social programs being cut, they don't even have the money to make these demands. This is why they're asking for a collective boycott, because they know at an individual level, they're not making it like that. But it wasn't shocking at all to know these statistics. I think the whole world is starting to see everything clearly about what this community is about. And I think it's going to backfire. It's